One. So welcome to the first week of the 10-week course of the advanced level. I'm really excited to have these 10-week courses. And so we're kind of working through the program and trying to improve it the best way possible. And so I really hope that this 10-week course will kind of cover some of these more advanced areas related to beekeeping and really support you on your beekeeping journey. So for those of you that have not met me before, my name is Garrett Slater. I'm assistant professor and honeybee extension specialist at Texas A&M. This is a brand new honeybee extension program. So I've been in this role since June or July or so only about 8 or 9 months. But I'm really excited to start building this program really from scratch and really trying to support beekeepers across the state. And so, my role is a statewide appointment. And so even though I'm located in East Texas, near Tyler, Texas, my role is to really support beekeepers across the state. And one way that we're doing that is taking over the Master Beekeeping Program. And so some of you have probably been a part of the program for, a couple years now, maybe, during its beginning. It's been historically run by the Texas Apiary Inspection Service, and now it's run by Texas A&M Extension. And so it kind of falls under our office. And so some of you have been part of the program in the past, and we really appreciate any feedback or ways we can improve the program. And so I'm really excited that this could be one way that we can, provide more information and provide tools that can help beekeepers across the state of Texas. I'm going to have Heather introduce herself. She is a technician here with me at the A&M facility in Overton, Texas. She's going to be kind of coordinating the Master Beekeeping Program, so I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's not gonna work.
Let's go. I should find out.
Did you turn yours off? Okay. Let me turn my sound on. Okay. Good morning. A lot of y'all I already know, but I'm Heather McBride. I've worked for Texas A&M AgriLife with Garrett since August. I've been beekeeping since 2015. I started the program, the Master Beekeeper Program, back in 2017 when I tested for my apprentice level. And then I just got my master certification this past November. I'm trying to think what else. Again, most of y'all know me. If you ever have any questions, I'm going to provide you my email address today, my phone number. You can give me a call or email me anytime with any questions you have, and I'm willing to help. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Heather. And so, yeah, like Heather mentioned, if you have any questions, or especially when you're trying to submit some of your volunteer hours or public service hours, we're really here to support you on that. So, we are definitely making a lot of changes in the program, and we'd love any feedback as we're kind of developing the system. So, it's been kind of wonky in the beginning as we kind of figure out the best way to do this. But yeah, if you have any feedback, a way we can improve the program, and we've already heard a lot, so it's really great to hear feedback from the beekeepers because, even though we're kind of coordinating the program, this is really run, and we want it to be a program for the beekeepers in the state of Texas. So, just a little background about the program. So, the Texas Master Beekeeping Program started in 2015. So, we're on its 10th year. And it really started as a program to really support and educate beekeepers across the state of Texas. And so, at the time, the University of Florida, I believe, had the only Texas Master Beekeeping Program. And so, the individuals that were in Texas, basically, modified that program and made it fit for Texas beekeepers. And over the past 10 years, we have done a really great job of reaching beekeepers and even, youth groups and other groups across the state of Texas. And from our numbers, we've reached about 1.8 million people over the past 10 years. And I think this is a really impressive number. And as you guys are going for your advanced certification, one of the major parts of that is kind of volunteering your time to really talk about the benefits of honeybees, talk about the benefits of pollinators, and really educate the people about just how important honeybees are. I think we're all beekeepers because we love and have a passion for honeybees. And, one thing we can do is really educate the general public about bees and pollinators so they're more aware of bees and pollinators. They're more aware of what they can do to help bees and pollinators. And maybe some of these individuals will become future beekeepers and future ambassadors for the beekeeping industry. And so we'll talk a little bit more about the volunteer hours, and a lot of you've already submitted a lot of your time and effort educating beekeepers, and we just want to really showcase these numbers to really the rest of the state to show that you guys are having a huge impact for beekeepers and people across the state of Texas. So here's some numbers just about the type of program reach we've had over the past 10 years. And so I made a map of individuals that have passed the apprentice level. And so everybody that's in this course has passed the apprentice level. So your numbers are actually in this map. And so Texas has, 253 counties, 240 counties, something like that. And as you can see, we have a lot of counties that have had a beekeeper that passed the apprentice level. So 450 total beekeepers across the state of Texas. But yeah, we are still seeing a lot of this gray. So, I'm hoping with our apprentice course, which we had yesterday, and it's gonna be Mondays for the next 10 weeks, we get more beekeepers involved in the program and provide more education in the program. But as you can see, we definitely have a lot more beekeepers in the metropolitan areas like Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and then Houston area. For beekeepers that pass the advanced level, and you guys are all interested in pursuing your advanced certification, and so once you all pass your advanced certification, you can go on to the next level. And we're hoping we can fill out this map a bit more. But over the past 10 years, we had 96 beekeepers that have passed the advanced level examination, and so we're hoping to kind of grow that number. I know with this course we have over 50 beekeepers that have signed up for this advanced course, and so we'll definitely add to these numbers. For the master level, we have 35 master beekeepers across the state of Texas. And so we really don't have many, but we're hoping to have more beekeepers that, go to that final level. And we'll definitely talk about the master level a bit more. With the master level, you're kind of specializing in a specific major. So we have quite a few majors that you can choose from. If you want to create your own major, you can, but it really just provides the beekeepers an opportunity to specialize in one area that they're really interested in. So we have a major in honey judging. So if you're interested in just honey, the benefits of honey, and promoting honey judging in the state of Texas, we have a specific major for that. We have we have a major for native pollinators, a major for education. So it's just one way for you can get more education on, a topic that you're really interested in. So, if you guys pass the advanced level and decide to move on to the next level, we can talk more about that later on. But we'd love to have kind of more specialization and, ability for beekeepers to promote a certain sector that they're really interested in. I didn't make a master craftsman map because we only have one master craftsman in Denton County. And so with the master craftsman level, there's a requirement to do either an extension project or education project or a research project. And so we're hoping to have a few more master craftsmen, but it does require a lot of work teaming up with A&M Extension like myself or a university across the state of Texas to do some of these research projects. So we're happy to kind of help out with that process and help you, pursue master craftsman level if you are interested. So today we'll talk a little bit more about this, the program, the history program, and really the benefits this program has for the beekeepers across the state of Texas. And then we'll talk a little bit more about, the advanced level, what's required for the advanced level. So some of you have, started pursuing your advanced level already and started collecting public service credits, but a big part of it is, not only taking the exam, but getting those public service credits. And so I'll have Heather talk about that a little bit more. And then we'll talk a little bit more about next steps after the advanced level, including choosing a major and pursuing the master level. And then we'll talk about the new tracking module. And so this tracking module is $10 per year, and it just allows us to kind of track all the progress. So historically, beekeepers have collected their public service credits and put into a binder. And when they're ready to take their exam, they submit their binder to us. And it just makes it really difficult for us to track all the beekeepers and make sure that you guys are making the progress you want. And so we have this tracking module to have beekeepers submit their public hours online and allow us to make sure you guys are getting the hours you need and making sure that they actually qualify for what we're looking for. Now, as we'll talk about, we really don't turn away any public service hours. And so if there's something on the list that you're unsure about, you can definitely email me, Heather, or the board to see if we can get approval. But we rarely turn down any public service hours. So if you're doing something that benefits, the beekeeping industry or benefits native pollinators, we will almost always accept those as public service hours. But if you're unsure, we are an open book. You can send me an email or Heather an email to see if those actually are approved or are verified credits. Yeah, so we have a chat in this, and so if you guys want to just maybe put in the chat why you joined the Master Beekeeping Program. So a lot of you have already passed the apprentice level, and so I'm always curious about why people are part of the Master Program, and talk about ways that we can help you guys reach the goals that you want. And so just from being coordinating the program for the past 8, 9 months, these are some reasons why beekeepers tell me why they're part of the program. I think number one is this continued learning. I think we all love bees and love honeybees and pollinators, and so we just want to learn more about them. And whether that's the biology or the behaviors of bees, or whether that's to learn more about pesticides or learn more about, rural management, we just want to learn more about bees because to me they're really fascinating. I've been a beekeeper for over 25 years, and I'm still learning more about bees, and my love, my passion for them is just continually growing. And so I know a lot of you guys really feel the same way about, beekeeping. And so I think one major benefit is this continued learning. And I think one thing, and one of my major initiatives with this program is to offer more of these kind of learning modules that cover a lot of different areas related to beekeeping. So not just focusing on some of the beginner lessons and beginner courses, but having some more advanced courses for beekeepers as they progress through the program. And so we'll be developing some modules for the master level. So if you're really interested in honey judging or queen rearing or queen breeding, we'll have some specific modules just for that. So you can learn more about some more specific areas and more advanced topics. Second thing is just a love of bees. And so bees are really fascinating, and I think just learning more about bees, why they do what they do, is something that's really interesting to me. And then just a service. So I think we do have a lot of beekeepers that may have been part of the Master Gardener program or part of other volunteer programs. And I think a lot of people just want to give back and just educate people about bees and pollinators. So especially with the advanced level, I think service is a really important part of that. And a lot of beekeepers are part of this are already heavily involved with the local clubs. So they educate new beekeepers in the local clubs, or some of the beekeepers involved here are going to schools or going to different groups and educating the youth about bees and pollinators. And so especially the advanced level, I think service is a really important part of it. And for me, I have a statewide appointment, so it's hard for me to reach all parts of the state. And so having a team of beekeepers that can help me educate people is one way that we can really promote the industry and teach people about the benefits of pollination. And then environmental stewardship. So bees are really important pollinators, and understanding why bees are dying and how we can help the bees across not only the state of Texas but across the country is something that's really important. And so being stewards is something that's really important to me, and one thing I think a lot of people get benefits with the programming. And then just networking. So, working with beekeepers across the state and talking to them about the problems you're facing, or if you develop some innovative solution that you can teach other beekeepers, I think the networking part is really, really cool. And I think there's a certain, group of beekeepers that are part of the Master Beekeeping Program, and they're really proud to be part of this program. And they want to, show people about the work that they're doing. So it's not just the certification part of it, but it's more like the service you guys are doing, the education you're doing, and that you guys are continuing to learn more about bees and pollinators. And then the last part is this kind of specialization. So, as you guys have all decided to take the next step in the program, so go to the advanced program, but this will give you opportunity to specialize in an area that you're really interested in. And so I know Doty's on the call and some of the folks from the Texas Beekeepers Association are really interested in establishing, honey judging and, honey programs across the state of Texas. So you can choose to specialize in that. If you're interested in beginning to raise your own queens and start a breeding program, we'll have more specialization based on that. And so I think what's really cool about the program is we're teaching the basics really for the apprentice and advanced level, but it allows you to kind of grow into what area that you're really interested in. And so I'm not sure if there's anything in the chat about why people are part of the program. If it
Yeah, we had a few people.
Okay, quite a few then. Yeah, and I really appreciate everybody's feedback. I think there was a hand raised. Was there a question by somebody? Okay, maybe not.
I don't think
Maybe it was a mistake. Okay.
Hi,
Oh,
this is
Kimberly.
and it says chat is only available during the meeting, so I'm unable to chat. So anyway, I didn't know if it was a glitch on my side.
I have
Weird.
the same problem too.
Strange.
Are there chats? I mean,
Like
people submitting chats?
People submitting chat.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Kimberly. And we will work on that and see what the issue is. I'm not sure if it's on your end because we do see some chats.
Mine says that too.
Okay. Yeah, is there a Q&A with this one? Yeah.
I don't see the Q&A like there was on the one yesterday.
Okay.
That's very weird.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read like one chat by Dustin. So, he said he's been keeping bees since 2019 and got involved with the egg benefits and just really got fascinated with bees altogether. So that's really awesome, Dustin. And I'm just kind of reading through some of these comments. So it's really cool that, people are joining the program for a lot of different reasons. And we really want to kind of help develop the program and really fit for what you're looking for. So, I hope this course can be really beneficial to beekeepers. It's 10-week course because we're trying to cover as much as we can. And so we're hoping that we can kind of cover all the areas. But, any feedback or any thoughts, we'll definitely be surveying beekeepers afterwards, but just please let us know how we can improve the program. Okay, so I'm going to have Heather talk about the board because we have a Texas Master Beekeeper board, and this is kind of executive board, so they help us one see if these credits qualify for the public service hours. They're also heavily involved with trying to improve the program, so looking at like what we're doing and how we can improve the program. So this is our board that we've had for the past 5 years or so, and I'll have Heather kind of describe each of them.
Okay. All right. So Garrett and I already introduced ourselves, and so I'm going to put Hannah on the spot because I think I saw her in here. Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So some of y'all know me, probably a good number of y'all know me. I'm Hannah Blackburn. I'm with the Texas Apiary Inspection Service. I started helping with the Master Beekeeper Program through my job. So within the last 6 years or 6.5, and I started by helping officiate exams and helping with the in-hive portion, as well as the indoor portion. And then over the years with some of the structural changes with our office, it kind of landed in my lap. And so I got to help with a lot of help from the board. I got to basically take lead on it for a little while, and then now it's gone to Heather and Garrett, which is awesome, and they're doing some really wonderful things for the program. But in general, as like with the apiary inspection service, I am an inspector, but I also like Dungeons and Dragons and a whole bunch of other things. So if you want to talk sci-fi or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, feel free to message me.
Or karaoke, right?
Or karaoke. Yes, absolutely. Every event I go to, I try to do karaoke. So if you like karaoke, hit me up.
Is there like a bee themed Dungeons and Dragons?
Actually, there's a lot of insect themed. I'm not sure if they're specifically, I mean, part of the perks of Dungeons and Dragons and Savage Worlds and other role play games is that you can create your own adventure. So I'm sure there is someone out there who has created like a social insect honeybee themed game. But I also know that there's a few books out there that are insect themed where you actually build your character as an insect. So potentially, yes. Heather, you're
Oh.
muted. Okay, there you
Dodie,
go.
sorry, Dodie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dodie Stillman. I've been playing with bees, keeping them alive for, I think I'm in the 12th or 13th year now. Both of my grandfathers were beekeepers, but my dad said no, so I don't get to be one of those generational beekeeper people. Bummer. Um, I wanted to be a beekeeper for a long time and kept asking my husband. He kept saying no, 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 and he finally said, "Well, I guess okay." And so I went off to my first club beekeeping meeting, and the guy up at the front put his email address on the first slide, and before the slide was finished, I'd already sent him an email asking him a question, and he answered right away. So I asked him another one, and then he answered, and I asked another one, and we did that for the whole next month. And then he finally said, "Okay, let me show you this cool tool called Google." So he kind of started telling me to look up my own answers. And then his name was Lance Wilson. I don't know if any of you know him or not, but he actually was the guy who started the Master Beekeeper Program in Texas. He was working through the program in Georgia because Texas didn't have a program. And so he's like, "Dodie, you're going to be my perfect guinea pig. You have to go through this program first and let us know what all is messed up about it." And you can tell that I didn't do such a great job because there's still some things that are messed up about it. But I tried and I made it all the way through the master level. And then when I was there getting done at the master level, what they said about master craftsmen was just too scary to contemplate. So that's as far as I've gone. And now I think that Garrett and Hannah and even Heather have done an awesome job of filling out more information about what is expected at the master craftsman level and being there to offer more ways to go about getting that certification. So I'm excited about that. That I think we really will have more master craftsmen in the future. And I am in the Austin area, so if anybody is close and they want to play with my bees, I'm happy to do that. Um, Reach out to me. I'll put my name and phone number over here in the chat. And I know at the end of the chat thing yesterday, Heather copied everything that was in chat and sent it in the notes out to everybody or put it in the classroom. So anything that we put in this chat window will be like notes that were taken for the class. So as we're going through this program and there's something that Garrett says that you want to remember, put a chat message over there and we'll all have great class notes that we can save along the way. Anyway, that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, and then our other two members, which aren't here today, is Molly Keck. She is out of San Antonio. She does IPM and then 25% bee extension. And then Michelle Borst is our one and only master craftsman, which I think most of y'all should know. She's out of the Denton area. She's been the editor for TBA, the journal, and then also just this last journal release. She now has her own column, which is Ask a Master Craftsman. So if you haven't seen the new journal, take a look at it. Okay.
Okay, perfect. And I think I figured out what happened to the chat for certain beekeepers. So when we made the Google or the class with the team's class, I added people as an optional attendee. And so for the beekeepers that just signed up for the program, the problem is that every time I add somebody to the class, then it alerts all the emails. So I'm trying to every time somebody signs up, I don't want to send the email to everybody. So there's no way around it. And so I think after this, because I think we have 10 or so new members, I'll add you guys to the teams, just so you guys can, add chats in the future. Okay, and then one thing we are working on is we're making new committees. And so one committee we have is the education and content committee. And so this committee is heavily involved with looking at the education materials that we have and trying to help us develop new education materials. We have another committee called the Club Outreach Committee. So we really want the clubs to be heavily involved with the program. And so I think that's really great about the state of Texas is we have a lot of strong clubs with really great mentors, and we want to include them more with the program. So we're trying to work with them to have these open apiary sessions so new beekeepers can go out to the field and learn hands-on experience. Because one thing with this course, it's really great to learn about bees and beekeeping online, but especially for new beekeepers that may be inexperienced about keeping bees or getting to the colony, it's really important to have that in-hive experience. And so we have these two committees, and as you guys are trying to collect your volunteer hours, we're happy to include you on some of those committees just so you can help, get some of those hours. We're hoping to develop some more committees. So maybe like a social media committee or maybe like an awards committee. So like maybe a Master Beekeeper of the Year. So we're open to hear any ideas about new committees we can develop. But if you guys are interested in joining one of these committees to help get some of those volunteer hours, we're happy to include you on that. Just maybe send us an email or just send something in the chat so Heather can write your name down. So before I get into the website, I want to talk about some updates that we're working on. So we are working on the Texas Master Beekeeper Handbook. And so we really just want to have one resource for beekeepers in the entire program. We will develop kind of specialized handbooks for each major for the master level. So we're going to be working on that probably once you finish the handbook. But the handbook's going to have about 22 chapters. And so some of the chapters are really dedicated to the apprentice level. So the basics of keeping bees and bee management. We'll have a few chapters that are dedicated to the advanced level, which you guys are all in, a few chapters dedicated to the master and master craftsman level. And so in the meantime, while we're kind of writing that handbook, and most of it's finished, we're just kind of finishing up the editing and hopefully making some new graphics. But in the meantime, we'll be sending you guys kind of snippets of the chapters that you guys can read up before these courses. And so, once this class is over, we'll send you kind of chapters for the pesticide section and the rural management section for next week. And so these won't be the full chapters. We're still kind of working on them, but it'll give you kind of an idea what the handbook's going to look like. And so we're hoping to have that ready. And once we have that finished, we won't have to worry about dealing with the Google Classroom. One reason that we're having this Google Classroom is we have all the material in one place. But once we have the handbook finished, everything in these courses will be kind of aligned with that handbook. And so in the meantime, we're kind of working with the Google Classroom. And I know some of you had issues logging into the Google Classroom. It's kind of wonky, and it's the first time I've ever used it. So we're trying to figure out the best way to develop a classroom because we have the tracking module, but there's certain materials you can't put on it until A&M approves. And so this is kind of a short-term thing that we're working on. And so this is kind of you guys are kind of the guinea pigs for this first 10-week course. And so really bear with us, and we really appreciate your patience. But yeah, if you aren't able to access the Google Classroom or having any issues, just shoot me or Heather an email. A lot of times certain email addresses just don't work. Google doesn't accept them for some reason. So you might have to create like a Gmail or Yahoo email to get onto that Google Classroom. But that's also where all the recordings will be. So for the beekeepers that are watching recordings, they will all be in the Google Classroom for now. And those recordings will be open to you guys really for the rest of the year. And if once that Google Classroom closes and you want access to the videos, you guys already paid for it, so we're happy to share that with you. But eventually, we'll be migrating all that to the tracking module, so we have really one place for the entire program. So we've been working on the new website. So, I mean, it's not really new, but we've been modifying it to make the information a bit clearer and make it easier to find some of this information. So I'm going to go to the Master Beekeeping Program quick. You see this? To my screen. Yes. Okay. Okay, so here's kind of the updated website. The apprentice level. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing and then share the website quick. Oh. Let me get to the website. Okay. Do you guys see it now? Okay. So here's a website, and we've been working on it. The apprentice and advanced level is up to date.
It's a black screen for me. I'm sorry.
It's a okay. It works okay. Yeah. So on the far right column we have our upcoming events, and so at the top we have our apprentice level 10-week course and our advanced level 10-week course. We'll also be posting all of our upcoming testing events. And so if you guys do, or if you guys do have the apprentice level for at least 1 year and interested in taking the exam at the Brenham B School in February 28th, you're welcome to do that. You can still, watch these courses, but if you guys want to take the exam, you definitely can. We'll be having a testing event in Abilene for the summer clinic. So if you're in the Abilene area or making way to the summer clinic, we'll be having testing during then. But one thing we'll do after this course, or probably middle way through the course, we'll do a survey for beekeepers, just so we can find testing locations that's closer to everybody. And so with the new extension program, we're going to have mentoring apiaries across the state. So we have one here in East Texas, but we have an apiary set up in Fort Worth. We'll have one set up in Houston area, and we have one in San Antonio. And so we're open to have some more testing events across the state. And so we'll do a survey about where everybody's located and see if we can find a testing event after this first year. So we want to make sure that we make the testing accessible to beekeepers across the state. But in the meantime, we'll be posting all of our upcoming events on this calendar. So if you want to check out the website and see any upcoming events, we'll post it here. But if you follow our email list or our Master Beekeeper listserv, you'll also receive any updates. So for the register today, this is how to get onto the tracking module. It is required for the advanced level. So you need to register with the tracking module so you're able to upload all your information and upload your public service hours. We'll have Heather kind of walk you through the tracking module. If you're not part of our Texas Master Beekeeper listserv, I encourage you to join that because we do submit updates and send out emails about the program. So please join the listserv if you haven't done so already. We have contact extension for a Texas Master Beekeeper email. So if you want to contact us or have any questions, you can contact us. But if you have questions about public service hours or public service credits, just shoot us an email and we can ask the board if that credit is approved or not approved. So I think a lot of beekeepers kind of look at their list and they think that's a concrete list, but we're really open to any type of volunteer hours you guys are doing. So if you're unsure about if something qualifies or not qualifies, just shoot us an email and we're happy to review it. And then we have our Facebook page. So we have the Texas Master Beekeeper Facebook page and then our Texas A&M Extension Apiculture page. So if you join those Facebook groups, we also post updates on those. We have a lot of free resources available to beekeepers. I've put it all in this resource tab. And so we have our Texas A&M Bee Lab page. We have our apiary inspection page. And then we have a Beekeeping 101 virtual course. So this is a 4-hour virtual course. So if you know somebody that is unsure about, starting to get into beekeeping or starting a colony, then this is a really great course to give you kind of a short primer about what it takes to keep bees in the state of Texas. And so it's just kind of a 4-hour kind of short course and gives you kind of an idea of what it takes to keep bees. And so if you know somebody that may be interested but unsure, this is a great course for them. And then we have a lot of free fact sheets, and we're continually developing new and more fact sheets. And so these are ones that are free to anybody. So we have one just on honey, general hive maintenance, bee equipment, purchasing, installing bees, how to sell and bottle honey in the state of Texas. And so we have a lot of free fact sheets. And then we have other resources that we highly recommend, like the Honeybee Health Coalition Varroa Guide, which we'll talk about for next week, and then their new nutrition guide, which is a great resource for learning more about the nutrition that bees require, but also the feeding and management. And so let's go to advanced. If we go to advanced level, it gives you an idea about the requirements for the level. And so we have basically these 8 different requirements to pass the advanced level. And so if you click on this, it'll have this kind of pop-down menu to give you an idea about what this means. And so the first one is to register with the tracking module, which is $10 per year. We do require that you register your colonies with the state of Texas. while it's not required, we highly recommend it because it's really important to, register your colonies because I think there's a lot of benefits that the apiary inspection service does. And so, supporting them is one way that we can support the beekeeping industry in the state of Texas. Another requirement is have 1 year of apprentice level to be in the apprentice level. So, if you passed your apprentice exam in last October, you can take your advanced exam in October of this year. And then we have this optional 10-week course, which is $75. So you guys are all enrolled in this 10-week course. And so it's optional, but because you guys paid for the $75, you're automatically enrolled in any testing that you want to do. And so we really want to make it just like a flat $75 fee. So since you guys are already paid, we can kind of find a testing time that works for everybody. And then we have our 6 training modules. So we have 6 computerized training modules. Those are all in the tracking module. So you can take the quiz online and watch all those. Another requirement is 10 public service credits. And, Heather will talk about this a little bit more, but we do require 10 public service credits. And it'll all be uploaded in the tracking module. And then, we have a written and practical exam. And so because you guys already prepaid for that, you're already ready to go. So this is kind of gives you an idea, but if you have any questions about the requirements for the advanced level, please let us know. But we're really hoping that this 10-week course will kind of cover all the areas and all the questions that will be on the exam. And so after this course, on week 10, we'll do kind of an overview and we'll give you guys sort of a study guide to look at. And hopefully you guys are really prepared for the exam. Any other questions on that? Good. Okay. And then we also have tab for the contact a master beekeeper. And so if you want to contact a master beekeeper, a lot of them have their email addresses on here. A lot of them have their phone numbers, and they're really happy and receptive to hear feedback from beekeepers in the program. So if you just want to learn from somebody that's been through the program and ask some questions, they're a really great resource. So here's a list of all 35 Texas Master Beekeepers. And some of them, like Michelle, for example, has her contact information, has her phone number, and her website. She also has presentation topics. So if you are running a club and you want a Texas Master Beekeeper to speak at your club, these are some topics that they're willing to talk about. So yeah, just they're really receptive of any emails or any contacts. So just reach out to them and they're happy to answer any questions. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the presentation quick. Yeah. Oh, where is it? Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have Heather kind of go over the program levels and timeline. I know I talked about it a little bit more, but I'll have her kind of go over this.
Okay. All right. So most of you guys probably already know the timeline. Nothing with that has changed. All of y'all have already gone through your apprentice, and so you guys know that took 1 year of beekeeping. For the advanced level, it takes 2 years being a beekeeper, and then 1 year as an apprentice beekeeper, like Garrett just recently said. For if you intend to go to the master level, it's a minimum of 3 years of beekeeping, and 1 year as an apprentice beekeeper, and then 1 year as an advanced beekeeper. And then master craftsman is 5 years of beekeeping minimum, 1 year as an apprentice, 1 year and as advanced, and 2 years as a master beekeeper. Can you go to the next slide?
Mhm.
Okay, so I know y'all probably have some questions about some of the some of the updates that we've made with the public service credits. And so you guys have been in the program, so you can take one of two tracks. If you take the grandfathered track, it's the same as it was. You have 1 year as an apprentice beekeeper, you're a registered beekeeper in the state of Texas. You do the online training modules, and then you have 5 public service credits. The caveat with the 5 public service credits is Your presentations to beekeeping groups were only half a credit, and you could get 1 credit max on that per year, or for your advanced level. Um, and then like TBA summer clinic and the convention and bee school volunteering was only half a credit per event per the old rules. Our new rules right now, and we're still working on them. We're still working on developing. We have a committee that's helping us with this too. Um, but right now everything is kind of the same except for those public service credits. The big change, and it was because of feedback that we had gotten, is we really wanted to get rid of that half credit deal because we feel like y'all educating beekeepers is just as important as educating the public. So we did up the public service credit requirement just to keep it at the same rigor. But presentations to beekeeping groups now count as 1 credit and there's no max. And then TBA summer clinic, helping with the convention, bee school volunteering is now 1 credit per event. And also, just an aside, we're currently looking at converting these hours. So there will be, these 2 hours versus credits. One of the things that I've talked about myself being in the program, and then friends of mine is, mentoring somebody for a year versus giving a bee presentation are not really equal in hours. And then also too, if you mentor somebody for, you know, half of the season and then they're fine or on their own or they move, you lose all of that time that you spent with them. And that can be a lot of time. So we're looking to have it more like the master gardeners where you log hour per hour. We just have to figure out what those hours are going to look like for each level. Okay. And oh, and one note that I put here is I imagine I know this upcoming test, the testing is still going to be based upon those training modules that Garrett mentioned that are online that are very Florida heavy. But as we rewrite the test and update it for Texas, I imagine the 10-week course is going to be more important. So, um, I don't know. We'll discuss that later, but if you're going to take your test later in the year, you may not need to do those modules. You're going to have quizzes in this 10-week course anyway. So, a question.
Hi, it's Kim Shaw. I just was curious on the volunteer time. Does Hyatt's for Heroes mentoring count?
Yes, it does. I used it in my own.
Okay, great.
So yes, and we're really trying to encourage that. We've had some conversations with Charlie, and we highly recommend if you can help their program. They need the mentors. So, okay,
Yeah, kind of with your point. Oh, kind of with your point with Hives for Heroes, we're gonna have them talk to you guys about being part of Hives for Heroes. I think it's a fantastic organization, and Kimberly, I'm really glad that you're part of it and willing to mentor a new beekeeper. And so, we are planning to convert these to hours, and so that these credits are very similar to each other. So, like Heather mentioned, if you're the old system, if you gave a beekeeper talk, that was worth the same as mentoring a beekeeper for an entire year, even though you're investing probably over 8 hours versus 1 hour for a presentation. So we'll be converting all these to hours, and so really just bear with us as we kind of figure out the hour system for everything. But we do encourage you to mentor new beekeepers, and that's one great way to get some of these credit hours. And one thing we'll be converting these into like 3 different categories. And so one thing that we're thinking about doing, and we're reviewing this with the board, is having a category hours for service, hours for teaching and outreach, and then hours for continuing education. So for continuing education, for example, we want beekeepers to attend their local club and attend the state conference, maybe sign up for some of these journal articles, and you can get hours by signing up or attending those sessions. for teaching education, we'll have certain hours for that. So that means, doing presentations to your local club or doing presentations to a youth group or a school. So these will kind of fall under the teaching and outreach. This also include, having observation colony or having somewhere in a public area. And then for service, this means, you know, being on one of these booths at like a regional or state fair, attending or being part of some of these committees. So, part of the Master Beekeeping Program, or if you're a part of your local club and they have committees, serving on those. So we'll be modifying those as we go, and we really appreciate your patience because um, we want to make it as easy as possible, but we also want to make sure that we're providing the service that we want to beekeepers across the state. So, you know, we'll probably have you guys stay on the grandfather system as we go. We'll hopefully have some updates probably the next month or so. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
And like Garrett said, feel free to reach out to us, ask us questions. If you don't, if you have an idea for a public service credit and you don't know whether it applies, just email one of us. And we always forward your email to the board, and 99.9% of the time it's approved. So mm. Okay, so the next part's going to be the tracking module. And I'm going to show you, for those of you that haven't logged in, I'm going to show you how to get logged in. Oh, that just went away. You mind putting that back up? Sorry. Sorry. I was just going to kind of go over with them what we're going to do. Yeah, my computer's just slow on this end. Okay. And I'll show you where the computerized training modules are. They are no longer on Google like they were before. Um, um, and then also to submitting your public service credits on the tracking module as well. And then once you've taken your exam, submitting your certificate and then moving to the next level. Okay. And then I'll just, I'll see. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, and just as Heather is kind of working on this, so as we go through this 10-week. Oh, sorry, I've been talking this whole time. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, 1 second. Sorry, technical difficulties. Give me 1 second.
Good talk. Yeah, and so as Heather's getting this track module set up, one thing we want to do with this 10-week course is, have you guys start collecting some of these public service hours as we go. And if you're unsure or you don't have any opportunities to collect public service hours, just please let us know. And I know I get a lot of contacts from the local county agents, and some of the beekeepers I know on this call are heavily involved with their county office. I would just reach out to them and let them know that you're available because they're always looking for people to do these pollinator and bee talks. And, I get asked a lot and I've been sending them to the email list, but I would just contact them and say, hey, I'm a resource. I'm in the Master Beekeeping Program. And if you have any opportunities to talk, they will definitely find a place or an opportunity for you to present or talk to some of these youth groups. So just reach out to your local county office just so that you guys are on their radar and they're aware that you guys are a really great resource. And one thing we'll start doing is we have like these the Path to Play program, and the goal of this program with Texas A&M is to educate people about where their food comes from. And one section of that program is related to beekeeping and honeybees. And so we have some really great material that you can use during teaching. So these giant pictures that are really great for youth groups. we have these insertable frames. So these pictures that actually go into frames. So kids can actually pull out the frames and look at the pictures of bees and has a description next to them. And so we'll be distributing this out to clubs that are part of the program. And so, if you are part of a local club or you want some of these materials, we're happy to send that out to you for your teaching. But yeah, if you're unsure about any opportunities, just feel free to reach out to me and I'll find something, because we're always looking for volunteers and we're always looking for people to give presentations. And especially in the next coming months, probably once you get closer to the pollinator week in June, there'll be a ton of opportunities. I know Earth Day is coming up here pretty soon, next couple months, and I get a lot of requests for talks for Earth Day, and I just don't have the capacity to go to all of them. And so I have the list of everybody that signed up for the program, and I'll send it out to you guys all. But in the meantime, before I send anything out, just reach out to your county office or reach out to your local club and see if you can have some of these opportunities. I know I think Christy's on here. I'm sure she'd be willing to have somebody speak to their club for a half hour. Or if you're part of one of your clubs, I think Lynn's on here. Yeah, so she's heavily involved with the Fort Bend. So I'm sure she'd be willing to have somebody present at her club. So just reach out and see if there's any opportunities for you guys.
Okay, so logging into the tracking module, the easiest way to get to it, if you don't already have it favorited or saved, is right on the website where Garrett was showing y'all earlier. If you come here to the tracking module and kind of pop it down, then you can click on the link. And then if you're not logged in, it'll look like this. If you've signed up, then you should already have a login. So you'll just log in. And then once you get here, this is the confusing part for some folks. You actually have to go to the little profile icon and then go to My Courses. And then click on the actual course. For those of you that have already looked in here and already submitted stuff, you probably have already learned your way around the program. If you haven't signed up, or if you have signed up and you don't see the icons down here that you should, which if you've passed your apprentice level and you're working on your advanced level, then you should see the apprentice level and the advanced level there. If you don't see that, let me know. If you just sign up, give me 24 hours or 48 hours or so to get you moved up into the advanced level, because we have to manually do that. Once you do have that advanced level icon, and I've partly gone through here, so I'm gonna try and get it. Yeah. When you click on it, this is what it should look like. And there's, a video explaining the advanced level. There's also more information as far as all the requirements. The study guide is also linked on here. And then comes submitting service credits. So this is going to look a lot like the paperwork that y'all have, and you can even upload your paper. We ask that you do that. We still want
papers I gotta get signed.
Yes. Yeah, we still want the paper to be signed. That way, it's not that we don't believe you, but that's just kind of, proof that you were at the event and that somebody signed off for you. I know myself, there were some times where I did events that I forgot and I just emailed the paper to them, they signed it off and then emailed it back. And so in this, it's really a quiz. You hit start quiz and then you go in and fill in your information. One of the things that we're going to add to it is hours, because we don't have hours on here. But then you can put the name of your event. Let's say you work the Texas State Fair. Let's just say it was October 31st. And you work the TBA booth. So you just go through and answer all these things. Huh?
Numeric number.
Yes. And some of this right now is more of a open text. The numeric stuff is going to get changed to where it's just, it'll only accept a number. For a state fair, you would click presenting a public demonstration on a beekeeping topic at a fair, festival, similar event. And then also up here on one of these things, you can go ahead, and I don't have one on my computer, but you can add a file, search on your computer, upload that document, and have that on there. And that way we can view it on our end. And then you submit. And we'll get a notification that you submitted it on our email, and we can take a look at it and give you immediate feedback if it needs it. And then also, you have a record of it in the system as well. It'll immediately tell you here what you submitted. But also, let's see if I can go back. See if I can remember where it's at. If you go to your course tools here, into quizzes, you'll see advanced service credits. You can look at your submissions, and then you can also even view some reports regarding what you've submitted as well. So like there's the one that I just submitted. That way you can look up and see, okay, I've already done 4. Also too, having this is nice for us because it's an opportunity. I didn't mention diversification yet, but it's usually a big thing when everybody's turning in their binders to test. And that's kind of not the time we want to have that discussion. We want to have the discussion beforehand that, if you're only doing beekeeper presentations, or if you're only doing presentations in general, and you're not doing either some mentoring or serving at a state fair or a booth of some sort, then we can encourage diversification while you're working on it versus when you're ready to take your exam. Okay. As far as the tracking module quizzes, those are on here. Oops. Okay. And if you open up that navigator there, you can see all the different quizzes. So, so all the stuff that was Florida centric, and I know some of you have probably already looked at the materials. The materials are for it are still online. And then also there's a link right here. So let's see if it'll actually take me to it or not. Maybe not. My computer's not liking that. Anyway, you can view those tracking modules here online. Shoot. Hold on. Okay, so here's all the documents to view for the for the African honeybee module. And then the actual quiz is right here. So you click, go on, take the quiz, which my computer is being really slow right now and not liking me. Let me try and refresh. Okay. And then you can hit start quiz. Beforehand, you'll notice that there's no time limit. It's unlimited attempts, but you have to pass that test in order to be able to test. For example, if you're planning on testing in Brenham at the end of this month, you'll want to complete all of these before you show up for your test. Let's see, anything else? Okay, yeah, that's right. Also, before we go to showing you the discussion section, there is a section here where it's just a little checklist. So, okay, you've been an apprentice for a year already. You've got that done. And so what is the next step? And then you can check it off as you're getting through it, just kind of a checklist. The other thing that we have here on our tracking module is discussions. And okay, it's on the discussion tab. And so we have basically discussion groups. So one, you can chat with other advanced beekeepers. Go ahead and get on there if you haven't already. Introduce yourself. If you're having problems or you have feedback or something like that, y'all can talk about it. And also we have region beekeeper chats. So for example, I live in Texarkana, so I'd be region 1. So this would be my chat. And then I can network with other beekeepers in the program and in my area, which I think is a really good benefit. Okay. And I think I'm done. Let me mute myself. Huh? Keep that up.
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
1 second. Okay.
Good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just want to kind of clarify some things with the tracking module. So one reason we don't have those actual modules on the tracking module and it's just on the website is because a lot of information is Florida centric, so there's copyright issues for having that on the Texas A&M site. So we're still working on developing those, so it's all in one site. So yeah, please bear with us as we start developing the materials and have everything on here. But like I mentioned, once we have the handbook, it'll be all on the handbook, and we'll have some recorded modules you can watch. One thing with the public service hours, so you're probably wondering like why did we have a quiz? There really wasn't a better way to track this. And so we had an option of either doing quizzes or we could do a Qualtrics survey. One reason that we decided to do quizzes was because you could actually go back to your previous quizzes to see what you've done in the past. But one thing we will be doing is sending out monthly reports about where you're at and the type of progress you've done, and also give you an idea about the public service credits across the state. And so, we are working on that. So hopefully you guys can have, monthly reports so you can kind of see where you're at and where you need to go. But even though the requirement's only 10 public service hours or credits, please submit as many as possible. This gives an idea about the type of reach you guys are having on the program. So, I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing a lot of extra hours and a lot of extra volunteer hours. And so really the more you submit, the better it is to promote the program and talk about the benefits of the program. And one thing I will add is we're hoping to have kind of a Beekeeper of the Year award. And so maybe if somebody submits the most credits, we'll give you the Beekeeper of the award. So I'm not gonna tell you what the prize is. It's gonna be pretty fantastic. So try to submit as many as possible, and you can be the first ever Beekeeper of the Year. Yep, you can stop sharing. Okay, so I think we just leave it up to maybe 10 more minutes of questions. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions about the public service hours. Otherwise, we can take a quick break before we get into the second half of the session.
Somebody had a question. Did y'all want us to take a baseline test? Where is that posted? So that's posted in the Google Classroom. And I shared the link earlier, but I'll reshare that link. If you have any problem getting into it, feel free to call or text me, or email me, and I'll help you get in it. Some people, like, I had no problem getting into it with my Gmail account as a student login and my Yahoo account, but some people are having issues. Most people that are getting in with a Gmail account are not having issues accessing it.
Yeah, and let me share it quick too, just so you can see it. And we'll also send a link to the recordings, and we'll send a link to the reading material for next week and also the quiz. But everything is on this Google Classroom. Now we originally had it on my Texas A&M account, but we had issues adding people. So what we're gonna do is we had to migrate everything over. So now everything's on here. But if you go to coursework, the pretest is right here. Now, please take the pretest without, Googling any answers. We just want to get sort of a baseline of where everybody's at. And so, we'd like to have you guys have this quiz done by next week. But we will definitely keep it over. But we just want to get a baseline about where everybody's at. Okay, so we had some questions. I think James was first.
Yeah, Garrett, does public service credit hours expire? So if I have some credits for a couple of years back, is that still eligible?
James,
Yes.
is he muted?
Okay, can you hear?
Yep, I
Test,
can hear
test.
you.
Okay, so does public service credit hours expire? I mean, if I did things 2 years ago, do they still apply?
You did them after your apprentice test?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
They
applies.
still apply. Yep.
It's from test to test.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I believe in the past, if you've did some public service hours during your advance, they wouldn't qualify for your master. So that they have to be like once you reach that level. So yeah, if you did public service hours after you got your apprentice, then you can, record that and submit that information. Okay, VK.
Yeah, hi. Do the service credits need to be performed in Texas? I mean, I live in the Texas-New Mexico border, and our local club represents many events that are performed also in New Mexico. So,
Nope. It can be anywhere. So it can be, in a webinar, for example, or it can be in person in New Mexico, where you're
I
located in El
can't hear
Paso. So
anything. Can anybody else hear? I logged off and logged back on.
can you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
We can hear you.
Who was talking? Was it Kimberly?
I think so.
Okay, Kimberly, can you hear me now? I'm not sure. Okay, we will go to Chris.
Yeah, hey, thanks. So I teach a bee club, which is about 2 hours once a week for, I don't know, about 2.5 or 3 months at a small private school. Would that count as credit?
Is he getting paid for it?
No.
Are you okay?
I'm
So
the
yeah,
one paying. I'm the one paying for it. So
I think it says for each hour you get 1 credit. Right? Is that correct?
It's for the most part, it's per event. So
Per event, yeah.
So if you're teaching the same class multiple times a day, it counts as one. If you teach the same class,
well, each day is a different
Yeah.
lesson and a different experience.
yeah. So that would count. Each day would count as different.
And Chris, once we shift this to hours, it'll make more sense, right? Because if you're teaching for 8 hours, for example, over multiple days, you can submit those 8 hours. So, I think once we switch over to the hour system, it's to make a lot more sense and it'll be easier for you to submit. But one thing we will say is that you do need diversity. So you can't just use talking to this B group as your only credit. So you can get your attendance service hours this way, but you need to have diversity. So you can't just get it all with this one. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Do you think we
sorry,
need to
go
be
ahead.
more specific about how many hours you can use per every area? Like we talked about dividing things up into 3 different categories. So maybe you can only have so many hours from this category, so many hours, a minimum or a maximum from each different category. That way, if Chris can get all 10 of his teaching, he knows that he still needs to go get a minimum of 3 hours in this area and a minimum of 1 hour in this area.
Yeah, exactly. And, especially with a new system, So I'm kind of talking with the sort of the old system, but once you have the new system, I think it'll be easier to have a limit per each category. So, I mean, I suppose just for now, just
Yeah, I think right now, Dodie, on the tracking module, we say that you have to get a minimum of 2 different categories, and only one of them is like presentations. I think that's how we have it set up. But yeah, I know we're working on that as far as like.
yeah. But Chris, like if you have an observation colony that you have set up and you have groups come to observation colony, that would be different than, talking to some of these B groups. So that's one way you can get some of the diversity. So I know you're doing a lot of really great work, and so I can't imagine it being an issue for you to get all your hours.
No, I mean, I've spent plenty of time at the state fair and running the bee booth there. So yeah, no worries there. Thank you.
But yeah, Chris, if you want to submit all your hours, I'd much appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And y'all submit as many different things as you do. even if they don't, or I mean, they'll count, but then you'll have extra, and it'll actually give Garrett and Heather more credit that they can say, at the end of their year that because of this program that they facilitate, we've reached this many more beekeepers. So throw in as many public service credits as you can and as many different types as you can, and that'll only be better for you and eventually for this whole program.
Yeah, and really just to add on to Doty's point, I mean that's really one reason that the Master Gardener Group has these kind of new facilities and they have a lot of investment from the counties. I mean, they have people that their only role is to support the Master Gardener Group, and that's just because they've been doing a lot of really great work and volunteer work in their local county. And so the more information that we get and the more way that we can evaluate the impact, the better it is going to be for the program altogether and for the beekeeping community. So really the more public service hours you submit, even if it's past the number that's required, it just kind of helps the whole program as a whole and helps, hopefully get some more resources in your local county. Okay, perfect. Well, if I don't see any other questions, I think we'll take a 10-minute break just to give everybody time to get some water and take a bathroom break, and then we'll come back at 10:20. But yeah, in the meantime, if you want to leave any questions in the chat or ask any questions, we can answer them as we go.